Alright, so I want to make a quick video explaining how we got our answer for the penny. Right, that was the one that we did in class, and for a number of reasons it didn't go off exactly as planned, as usual. So what I wanted to do was go through the penny with you guys and let you see the process. Same thing as before, we're going to use our snipping tool, and what we're going to do is we're going to grab this part of it and we're going to work it out. Let's do this. I'm also going to use my calculator for this one. Let's clear it off. Remember, if you're looking for a calculator, you can find one on your desktop or in your computer, and it looks just like that. I only need one. Alright, so the first thing we asked ourselves was, what were we really looking for? And what we were looking for was the cost to produce 1 penny. Right? That was the big question. Now that we know what we're looking for, a lot of us in class said that we were going to have to use the division, or use division, to calculate that cost, right? So we were going to talk about division. And in all my classes, we did to do 2 sets of things. So down here, I'm going to change over to black, and I'm going to write a couple of division problems. First, we have to divide the number created by the total cost, or we want to divide the total cost by the number created. And in almost all of our classes, we started off by dividing 6,610,000,000 by the total cost, which was $121,100,000. We also talked about in class that we don't need all those zeros, because we knew that when you have a 0 divided by a 0, that equals 0. And so to make our lives a little easier, we took out these 2 zeros, we connected the zeros like this, knowing that once we did, they would cancel out, and they would give us something that looked like this. $66,000 pennies, 66,100 pennies divided by $1,211. Then we used our calculators. 66,100, oh, too far. 66,100 divided by equals that. And that was kind of a fun number. We had to think about it for a minute. What this is actually saying is that the cost to produce 1 penny was about $54.58. And we were like, gosh, if that's true, no wonder the deficit is what it is. Right? So we had a good laugh, and we said, okay, well, that way didn't work out. Why don't we try flipping it? Let's go to the blue pen for that. So, 121,100,000 divided by the number. Remember, this is the money on top this time. We've inverted our fraction. Now we have 6,610,000,000 pennies. And once again, we said that we don't need all those zeros. Let's make it easy on ourselves and eliminate them. Crossing them out. So now we have $1,200 or $1,211 divided by 66,100 pennies. And that new number looks like this. And I'm just going to write down. We're going to round this one to the nearest thousandth. In class last week, we talked a lot about rounding to the nearest tenth. But for this particular exercise, since this is rounded to the nearest 100th, we want to be able to compare that number to a number that makes sense. When I write down this number, 0.0183, I'm looking at the thousands place. I'm looking at the 8. And just really quickly, we said this was less than 5, and so we were just going to leave that number at approximately 0.018. And so what does that tell us? Well, it tells me that it costs us approximately, and if we wanted to round it up to the nearest 100th, we could say it's 0.02. But because we want to be fairly accurate, we want to understand that to create 1 penny, it's approximately, there's my approximation sign, approximately 0.018 of a cent. So it's a little, it's almost 2 pennies to create 1 penny. And we're like, wow, that's pretty incredible. So, with that being said, what you're going to have to do with your answer is come down here to your Google Slides and plug it in. 0.018. And that's our first answer for the penny. In class, or excuse me, we worked this out in class. I've showed it to you again. I need you guys to figure out what it is going to be for the nickel, the dime, and the quarter. Last but not least, before we go any further, don't forget to answer the questions. I want you guys to start using these comment boxes to communicate with me. And over here, I have the answer where I want you to put it, where you talk about which coin do you think is the best deal and why. Doesn't have to be a lot, but all you have to do is come up here and you can edit it, and you can put in your own answer, whatever that answer may be. Remember, this is part of the activity, so spend a few minutes and get it done for me. All right, let's see. So your answers go here. If you have time, if you're feeling brave, if you want to go for it, you can take a look at this table, and you can read the question and figure out what that means, or you can just wait for me to show up on Tuesday and remember taking Monday off, and we can go from there. All right, so the next thing you want to do is turn your slides in, and I'll do that in the next video.